back in the early 90s when we were touring Europe for, you know, the first couple times, we did our Soul Assassin tour out there with House of Pain, Funk Dubious, and a couple other joints. And, you know, we were with House of Pain, they were Irish. And, you know, as we're going through some of the cities, man, this is when the IRA still had beef with England. And I remember specifically the hotel next to ours had a bomb threat next to it, next to us, and we had to vacate the hotel and get the fuck out of there because, you know, they were talking about blowing up the hotel next to ours. That was pretty trippy because, you know, those were in still semi-political and hostile times over there where they were still doing bomb threats. You know, now that doesn't happen between, you know, England and the IRA, whatever, you know, but back then it was still like a big threat. And I remember that happened a couple of times throughout Europe where whenever we stayed in the UK, there was always like the chance of a building somewhere close by being threatened. That was one. But I mean, the craziest I think though was we were coming from Amsterdam and we had to take the ferry through the white cliffs of Dover and go to France and whatever. And we had just come from Amsterdam. We got a lot of weed stashed up and all this other stuff. They pull us off the bus, they search our bags, they got the dogs there. The dogs ain't smelling anything because we're that good. They decide, you know, okay, now we're gonna check the IDs. They've checked the bags and everything seems clean. And, you know, they go to check our IDs or our passports, and they go to this guy's passport. And he opens it up and there's a ball of hash stuck on the face part of the picture of the ID. Before you know it, or the passport, before you know it, they're tossing all the bags once again, and then they ended up finding our shit. It was pretty crazy because you never know what they're gonna do. I mean, you know, you're in another country, but realistically, they find us and they let us get down. But that was funny because, you know, we were all good till they found the ball of hash stuck to his face picture.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it. You know, it was all a blur. You know, I was having problems forgetting, you know, if I had weed or hash on me. Like, we were coming from Europe one time. Went to the customs guy and, you know, hey, how you doing? I give him my passport, and then he's flipping it over, ready to stamp it or whatever. And a roach just comes out of the passport and it just falls right in front of him. He says, what's this? I was like, I don't know how that got there at all. I don't know. So
that's like it's his bookmark.
Yeah, so so before you know it, they went through all of my stuff. Do you have anything else? It says, no, I don't. And they found a little credit card pipe. He said, has this been used before? I says, I don't think so. He smelled it. Yeah, it's been used. They was finding seeds. They were finding everything. Finally, by my lucky, you know, string of luck, you know, they let me go. But I later found out, a couple years later, that one of the guys that was part of the customs went to high school with me and stopped them from taking me in because they just kept on finding shit, you know, and that kind of saved my ass. It got to a point that before we would come back home and everything, these guys would go through my bags because I was forgetting all that shit. They were just in checking, making sure I wasn't forgetting shit because I was just getting that fucked up. It happens.
Happens.